Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios had a special Comic-Con panel in China recently. They released a whole bunch of promos with Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and did a bunch of new reveals, so we will break it all down. We got official looks at a bunch of the characters too, most of the main characters. Really love the fact that Steve Rogers is going to be running around in this movie in just a regular t-shirt and pants. It's going to make it so easy to cosplay as that character. This is an HD version of that promo that they played off at the Comic-Con panel just to hype up Doomsday.
Hey, Billy World! So we're taking a quick break from the set of Avengers Doomsday and wanted to say hello to all you lovely people.
Doomsday is coming and the stakes have never been higher.
Right.
Witnessing how much you love this universe and these characters keeps us going.
Like our collective boss and friend Kevin will soon tell you, we're working hard to make this the most epic movie yet.
We love you, Billy. We love you, China. Stay awesome, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Notice Robert Downey Jr. is wearing an Iron Man helmet that's cracked in half, which feels like both a nice Iron Man reference, callback to his original character's death in Avengers Endgame, and also a Doctor Doom reference, because everybody in the movies are going to think that he's their Tony Stark, but he's not. He's a totally different character from another universe. He's supposed to be the original Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four's universe, the 828 universe. When they say they're still filming Avengers Doomsday right now, they're filming reshoots. The way they filmed the movie is similar to the way they filmed Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. They rarely have all the actors that they need for each scene, all the characters at the same time, so they film a lot of the bigger action scenes with stand-ins and just a couple of the actors that they happen to have on the day. And then for the smaller scenes where it's just two characters speaking to each other off to the side or in some other different room from the group, and the actors aren't available when they want because they're all big actors, they're all filming other movies, they'll wait till the reshoots to do those smaller scenes because they can film them pretty much any time during the year and it doesn't matter. Then also because the script for the movie changes every single day, they rewrite the script as they film it. Sometimes they just make up new stuff on the day. That'll lead to them needing a lot of extra smaller insert scenes to support the new narrative of the film after they cut everything together. Like, oh, we changed everything, so we need to change some of these other smaller things too so that the entire movie will make sense when we release it in theaters. We didn't realize that till after we started actually putting it all together.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
I suggest you don't worry about this sort of thing and just enjoy yourself. That goes for you all, too.
Yes.
One of the next big things is official HD promo art of the characters, and this is official. Kevin Feige was like hyping this up at the big Comic-Con panel, like, look everybody, look at it! I believe this was Andy Park's last piece of art that he made for Marvel Studios before he left. He's been one of their biggest artists on their visual development team, working on the movie since 2010 in Marvel Phase 1. He also worked as a cover artist back at Marvel Comics in the 90s before the modern incarnation of Marvel Studios was created. Starting with the biggest things first here, obviously the official Doctor Doom first look with his mask, his cloak. Notice his eyes are also glowing green, and his shade of green magic is also different from Loki's green magic, which is a deeper shade of green, just to differentiate them. They color code people's magic in the MCU differently, mostly on a practical level to make it easier to tell what people are doing on screen when everybody is fighting together at the same time and things get crazy visually, but also in-universe canonically, everybody gets their magic, their power from different places or practices a different type of magic. Speak of the devil, underneath him you can see Loki with his bigger bendy horns and his cloak from the end of Loki Season 2 when he became God of Stories Loki and started tending the multiverse tree of timelines. Pretty easy to assume that Doctor Doom is going to do something to stop him, because why wouldn't Loki just immediately put the kibosh on everything that's happening with the incursions? Something will have to happen to him so that the incursions can play out. Beneath him are the classic X-Men from the Bryan Singer era movies in their comic-accurate suits. Not everyone from the X-Men's world, because they're just the main characters on this poster. Monica Rambeau, good example of that, she's still stuck in their universe. There'll probably be other X-Men related cameos on their world too. Probably some of the bigger Easter eggs in their costumes, like zoom in and enhance here. Notice Cyclops still has the Bryan Singer era big X across his chest like he did on the black leather version of his suit during the original X-Men movies, but it's blue this time. The only bummer with Cyclops' costume here is that they didn't go full comic book and they opted not to do the yellow trunks. I guess they thought that that was too silly. Superman is wearing trunks in the DCU right now. Maybe they just didn't want to go full trunks. Next big Easter egg, you also notice that Magneto is wearing an X-Men symbol on his belt buckle, meaning that by the present day of this movie, he's been a member of the X-Men team proper, and all the fighting between him and the X-Men just water under the bridge at this point. Like, we fought each other a lot in those original movies, but aren't we all friends now? And they've kind of been doing that in X-Men 97. They're meant to look a little bit more like the X-Men 97's version of the characters. You also notice Beast has the same X-Men symbol on his belt buckle and his trunks that he's wearing, but he's going to be shirtless for at least some of the movie, which makes sense. We've already got a preview of what he's going to look like at the end of the Marvels movie. They're doing Kelsey Grammer as motion capture this time, the way they do the Hulk and the Thing, instead of practical suit like the Bryan Singer X-Men version. I am kind of bummed about Mystique's suit. She actually looks less cool than she did during the original X-Men movies, but to be fair, she was naked in all those movies. Of course she's going to look better super naked. Let's be honest here, we are all men of culture. The reason why they're covering her up, though, this time is because Rebecca Romijn in real life is in her 50s, and they didn't want to starve her to death and have to do 8 hours of makeup every day just to do the Mystique character again. They did the exact same thing with Jennifer Garner's Elektra in Deadpool and Wolverine, where they covered up her midriff so that she didn't have to work out as much for the movie, which she also laughed about in the behind the scenes. Like, she was very happy to not have to work out as much as she did for the original Elektra movie and the original Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Channing Tatum's Gambit looks the exact same that he did in Deadpool and Wolverine. They're confirming that this is his X-Men team. They're the ones that brought him back to their universe at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. There's like a little portal that opens up when he's inside the TVA in the background. So somebody saved him. Now just confirmed it was those X-Men on that world. Nightcrawler also has a new jacket and suit designed to look closer to his classic 90s black and red outfit, but it's not full 90s like the one he wears on X-Men 97 right now. You also notice he has white hair now, because Alan Cumming in real life is in his 60s, so they're just leaning into older Nightcrawler. I don't think I need to go around the horn for like every single other character here, but the other joke that people have been talking about this image here is Steve Rogers. He's going to be like Shirt Pants Man, just walking around in a normal t-shirt and jeans for the entire movie, holding a version of Mjolnir. You'll also notice it's the cracked version of Mjolnir that Lady Thor Jane Foster was using during Thor Love and Thunder. This is just meant to flow a little with continuity, like Mjolnir was still cracked and then reformed, so they're just reflecting that in the hammer itself. This is also how he's going to prove he is who he says he is when he shows up and Thor sees him. Like, you're not the real Steve Rogers, there's no way you could be, and boom, calls Thor to his hand, and then realizes, oh yeah, you're him, you're that guy, you're my friend. Pretty much everybody else is wearing the exact same suit that we last saw them in their last MCU movie that they appeared in. The only exception to this, though, is the Fantastic Four, who just have jackets on, except for Ben Grimm.
Marvel is 90 years old. There are so many great female characters, and some of my favorite female characters are in a group called the X-Men, and the X-Men are coming up very, very soon.
We have video of pretty much the entire panel. During the panel, Kevin Feige confirmed we'd be seeing more X-Men show up in the MCU after Secret Wars, because it will be the beginning of Marvel Phase 7, and the new X-Men reboot movie that Jake Schreier, who did the Thunderbolts movie, is working on right now, will be set in the MCU, along with the majority of all other future movies. The idea is that after Secret Wars, they're sort of rebooting, soft rebooting, technically, the MCU, so that all the characters, Fantastic Four, X-Men, the Avengers characters, have always existed on the same Earth, and it'll more closely resemble the 616 comic book universe. If you didn't realize, that new X-Men reboot movie, I'm calling it an X-Men reboot movie because they're going to recast all the core X-Men with much younger actors, like 20-something actors. Sadie Sink is supposed to be one of the first ones as the new Jean Grey. She's in her 20s right now, so that should give you an idea for like what the new age of Cyclops is going to be once they recast that character, the other comparable main X-Men team characters. My assumption is that that new X-Men team will be closer to the original roster with maybe a couple of substitutions from later characters. Kevin Feige also talked about a concept that they have behind the scenes when they're developing these movies called strange alchemy, where they like to put characters together in movies that have no business teaming up or together, which feels totally like Jean Grey appearing in a big Spider-Man movie. People have been asking, why would Jean Grey appear in a Spider-Man movie? But Kevin Feige is literally telling these people at this Comic-Con panel that they love doing stuff like that. He also talked about more of his favorite female characters coming to the movies, and a fan asked him about more female-led movies, and he said most of his favorite female Marvel characters are X-Men characters, and we just start seeing more of them in Marvel Phase 7 after Secret Wars. He didn't say exactly which female characters were his favorite, but my assumption is that Jean Grey is towards the top of that list. He also talked about Dr. Doom a lot, asking Robert Downey Jr. to come back, and what he said to him right after he asked him, which was kind of funny.
His exact words were, I played the best hero, I can play the best villain.
We got much better looks at Doctor Doom's throne in his throne room, presumably is his main base during the movie, but it's not clear where this is going to be located, and if this is before he goes after these three different worlds and teams, the X-Men's world, the Fantastic Four's world, and the MCU's world. Or more likely, he creates it after he creates Battleworld, and this is what his throne room is going to look like on Battleworld in Secret Wars. Doesn't it just look like something that he would create once he becomes God Emperor Doom from the comics? So I really do think right now, at least, early theory, that this is on Battleworld, this is Battleworld throne. Notice his symbol is at the top of the throne. That rune also appears in the new Latvian flag that Marvel is showing off at South by Southwest, and it's a magical rune that appeared during the special light show that also happened in China. So presumably, this helps him channel his power as God Emperor Doom. Zoom and enhance, there are runes all over the steps below the throne too, and on the throne itself. I can't read what the runes say. They made these up for the movie. It's like a brand new thing. But let me know in the comments if you think you can decode these and you speak his language already. You can also see his shadow depicted behind this stained glass here, and it's the same depicted in the Doomsday countdown clock that they've been running, counting down to Doomsday's release in theaters by the end of the year. In the countdown clock, you also see some of the runes that are depicted around his throne too. There's an X-Mansion set that they had, a Professor X wheelchair. This probably won't have the giant X on the wall in the movie, though. This is just probably just for the pop-up set. There's a new Avengers Doomsday logo with the cracked green energy, just to depict the events of the movie. Avengers logo breaking because of Doctor Doom's magic, him smashing all the other characters. This Black Panther set depicts M'Baku's throne because he's still the king of Wakanda when the movie picks up, and the Dora Milaje spears around it in the Black Panther symbol because of Shuri. Next big one is Reed Richards' equations all over his blackboards in the Baxter Building on the Fantastic Four's 828 Earth. Kevin Feige said some of the MCU characters are actually going to visit this place in the movie because all three planets are going to move into proximity because of the incursions, so like their atmospheres are going to touch, making it easier for people to travel between worlds. In the trailer that they released at Cinemacon that leaked out, Thor actually is able to open a Bifrost this way from the MCU New Avengers building to the X-Men's X-Mansion on their world because the planets are connected to each other at this point. Zoom and enhance on his blackboards too. It seems like these equations are mostly about the incursions and trying to find ways to stop the planets from colliding with each other. Pretty easy to assume that it's going to be similar to the events of the Fantastic Four movie, where he kind of finds a way to solve things, but it doesn't wind up working out and things go in a bad direction anyway, because we know Doctor Doom is going to wind up creating Battleworld, becoming God Emperor Doom, heading into Secret Wars, meaning that they won't be able to stop the incursions.
To prepare our people for the afterlife.
Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and let me know if you have been able to decode any of those special runes on Doctor Doom's throne in his throne room. The other really big reminder is that San Diego Comic-Con, the traditional Comic-Con, is happening in a couple weeks. There's supposed to be a big Marvel Avengers Doomsday panel. I'm expecting them to release the first official trailer there. Of course, I will do all the videos for whatever they do wind up releasing, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. We are also getting ready for Spider-Man Brand New Day to release in theaters. I just did a brand new trailer video for that. Click here for that video, and click here for all my other Avengers Doomsday videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.